Welcome everybody. I'm Camilla and I'm here for a Q&A to take your questions and answer them if I feel like it. We will see. So thanks for joining me here in the chat. Let me just wrap up some setup here. Make the comments a little bigger so I can see them. Before we get started here, a quick reminder of the World Series of Board Gaming, which is going to be happening in October. Hope to see you there if you want to compete. If you don't want to compete, just come have access to the Dice Tower West Library and play some games with us. We'd love to have you. Also, Dice Tower East tickets are still on sale. You can get those on tabletop events. Just let me know if you have any questions about that, as I play a pretty big part in Dice Tower East and can definitely answer those questions if you have them as well. All right, let me get up to the top of the comments. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? It's crowd surfing day. It's Wednesday. Oh, Monica, you're on sick leave. I'm sorry to hear that. I think this was from before. So trying to catch up in the chat here, see where y'all were at. Maybe I went too far. The ultimate eating challenge? Is that from above board, I'm guessing, because you're referencing Leaf? That sounds terrible. Not that you asked, but here's my answer. I'd be awful at that. I do not force myself to eat very well, especially if something looks gross or smells gross or reminds me of something, or if I'm just not in the mood, or if I've had it to eat recently. I don't do food I'm not in the mood for. So, Let me see. Sea monster attacking. Good afternoon, Mike. All right, I think I'm back to where we actually started here now, so we will see. All right, here we go. Starting off with some board gaming questions. That is in black writing. Can I change that font color? I'm working on it so you can see the question. Perfect. Can you see it now? Perfect, right? Fantastic, there we go. Have you played Suu Rama yet? Any thoughts? I have not. That's a new game coming out from Ion Game Design. I'm really excited about it. It looks like it's going to be a neat experience. But I have not played it. We haven't seen it in the office here yet. I don't think it's done being produced, is it? I haven't seen any production copies, period, yet. So if I am wrong, let me know. That would be fantastic, though. Hello, Board Game Bree. Oh my gosh, Bruce, what is the worst game of Project Elite you ever played? I don't have to think about this one. I know right off the bat. But it actually led to a really fun experience that I'm happy to share here. So we were playing Project Elite, and typically I'm teaching this game, so I start out with a easy, maybe going to middle of the road game, a medium difficulty. This one I was like, no, I want to use those adrenaline maps. So there's the Kickstarter exclusive ones, which are, they're called the adrenaline maps, and they are just more difficult. They really kind of ramp it up. I didn't quite realize how quickly they ramped it up. So I was teaching to 4 people that had never played before, and I'm like, I'm bored. It's my 3rd time teaching this con, but I got this. So I taught it, 10-15 minute teach. We went through, we did a dummy round. Great, we get it reset up and we're ready to play, and we spawn and lose before we even get to the real-time part. Like, we are spawning and it just instantly overtakes our base. So I was like, oh, well, that's that. And the worst part about it is after that, 2 of the people had to leave because they didn't have time to reset everything up, restart. They were on a time crunch, and oh my gosh. So I felt really bad that I was at the con. They were really excited, wanted to learn the game, and I killed us before we even started. So anyway, but I didn't want to bring anybody else back in because it can be a 10-minute teach, 10 to 15-minute teach, and everybody, the other people at the table already knew how to play because I taught at that point, and so we didn't want to start from the top. So we just packed it up and put it away. I was like, thanks for coming, guys. Let's try this again next cruise, or Dice Tower West, wherever we were, I don't remember now. But yeah, so the worst game is the one that I lost before we even started. It was great. What's the best thing I ate this past weekend? Trying to think how long ago the weekend was. Also, what did I do this weekend? The best thing I ate? All right. So I went on a bike ride. I haven't been on a bike ride in a long time, but I got a bike recently. Again, I got a new bike recently, and I decided to take it out because I live in South Florida, and you can do that all year long. Therefore, I should do it. So I went out on a bike ride, and then afterward, I was with my son, and in order to bribe him to go on said bike ride with his out-of-shape mother, I said we'd go for ice cream afterward. And I found this spot. It was called Nitro Ice Cream. But it wasn't nitrogen ice cream. It was not what I thought it was. It ended up being this like boba tea and donut shop. It is probably the best donut I've ever had in my life. They call them donut balls. The donut is just made of like the holes. And he had the chocolate one. The other person we went with had a pistachio one. And then I had the tres leches one. Oh my gosh. Y'all, this donut was unbelievable. It was like Krispy Kreme, but not as sweet. So it was, oh my gosh, it was, I might go back tonight. We'll see. It was so good. So good. Oh my gosh. And I also got a taro tea when I was there, and they just like made it fresh. And so, come to Florida. I'll take you. By that I mean, I'll probably be there already anyway, and you're welcome to come along. Play a space game at the bottom of the sea or an ocean game on a space station. And what game do you choose? I don't know about what game do you choose. I'll have to think about that. But probably an ocean game on a space station. Because, I mean, a space game at the bottom of the sea, are you talking like the Mariana Trench? I don't want to go there. Nah, I've seen how that movie ends. But a space station, also saw how that movie ended multiple times. But still, I think I would rather, if I was going to die, it be in space than the bottom of the ocean. So I'm going to go an ocean game in space. How about this? I would play Spirit Island. That way, if I do die, it's the last game I played, and I would play as Ocean's Hungry Grasp. Does that count? It's not an ocean game, but I play an ocean character, Spirit. I'm saying it counts. Welcome, Marion. Hi, good to see you. I have not seen anything come out of Tokyo Game Mart. I am pretty eyeball deep in Dice Tower East, the finalization of a lot of those plans, like our event schedule. And well, anyway, preaching to the choir on that one, I know. But yeah, I'm pretty knee deep in that, so I've not looked at the releases much for that. I think I'll probably take a look at a lot of that for prepping for Smorgasbord tomorrow morning when we do the news segment. So sorry, you're about 12 hours early with that question. What am I stressing about right now as it relates to Dice Tower East? What I'm stressing about is it's the final plans, you know, so we're getting ready to go to print with all of our signs. I just got the last copy of the con book. And so it's that final, like, I'm hitting print, it's done, you know? I don't know. Are badges required at all times, or are badgers required at all times? Hope I got the spelling right. You know, it's just those kind of things that I just, that last final, like, do or die, you know, kind of decision. So if you say stressing, it's an odd feeling, right? Because in one way, it's really stressful because it's like, oh, what if it's wrong? What if I did something wrong? What if I missed something? What if I spelled like a special guest's name wrong? Like all those just things that get you. But there's also something about having that task turn green on my to-do list that's just like, yes, so nice. So kind of it's a mixed bag of emotions right now, but that's kind of what it is. It's that last, like, everything going to print is kind of is next to final within the next week. I'll be hitting the print button on that stuff, and that can be intimidating. How do you determine that a game and its mechanics are thematic? For me, there's a couple different ways. I think the biggest, one of two ways, really, does playing the game make me feel like I'm in a different world or in a different setting, does it really kind of bring that to life and really sell the choices that you're making? You know, do you feel what you would feel in that situation? Specifically, I'm thinking like Orange Shall Overcome. You know, if I was this person having to make this decision, do I feel that? Or do I just feel like, well, I've got too many blue cubes there, so therefore I need to do this action? The other part of it is if I play a game and it makes me care about the theme, or if knowing the theme or learning about the theme helps me teach the game. So for example, if I'm playing something and it's, you know, well, if this game was real life, if this mechanism or mechanic here was real life, then you wouldn't draw a card, because that means you're actually, I'm trying to think of an example from a game that I played recently. For example, I just recently played, well, never mind. We haven't done the reviews, so you guys probably won't know what I'm talking about, because I don't know if that's mass market yet. Can't think of a game off the top of my head, but one of those where understanding the theme helps you teach the now you got me mixed up, so we always say mechanisms here, and I've got mechanics in my mind. I'm indifferent on that fight. But yeah, the mechanisms of the game. If it helps me show somebody or talk to them about that, then that's how I decide it's thematic, because it's not just a pasted on theme where it's like, well, why do I draw 2 cards? Because that's what the rule book said. That's not thematic. But if it's more like, oh, because you're actually scavenging for something, and so that's why you take 2, because you come back from the junkyard and you have 2 options and you choose one. If it really helps sell the rules, that's when I think it's pretty thematic. Old Bay, yes. Yep, I really like Old Bay. I think my preference, it's similar to Creole seasoning or Cajun seasoning, and I still prefer that. But Old Bay, absolutely. I do really, really like it. Will you be at Big Game Bash? So if you'd asked me 3 days ago, the answer would be no. But then I learned how to use a calendar and realized that I do in fact have that weekend open. So I might be, haven't finalized it yet, trying to still figure out. I have an 11-year-old, and so if my son will be with me or not, because I don't want to subject him to that. It's not his thing, so we'll see. All right, Sam, how hot do you like chicken wings? I like a solid medium to medium hot, up to hot if it has a lot of ranch. And I am team ranch, not team blue cheese or dirty socks. I'm solidly in the team ranch category. And so if you give me enough ranch, I can definitely go hotter. But I like a good burn without losing flavor behind it, you know, or crying. Crying's no fun. I love this question. I get it every time. Here we go. Let's just jump right in. You used to introduce yourself as Camilla Cleghorn, then Camilla, and now just Milla. It's okay. I get this every time, and I really need to come up with a better answer, I guess. I am Camilla Cleghorn. I am also Camilla, because that's my first name, and now I'm Milla. I don't like saying Camilla Cleghorn because that's a whole lot of I don't like it. I've never enjoyed, my whole name, and so just saying it over and over again is just so cumbersome, and I just don't feel like it's very clear when I speak it without saying, I'm Camilla Cleghorn, so I just don't feel like it comes through as clear. So I'm just Camilla. But Milla is the nickname I grew up with. It's what all my family and close friends call me. And that's how I view myself because, well, I am me. And so to me, I'm Milla, but then professionally, I've always gone by Camilla. So it's this weird profession that I'm in here where it's like, I'm personal and I'm Milla, but also I'm Camilla because it's a job, so it's a weird middle ground. Camilla or Milla, I am very indifferent myself. I'm Milla. A lot of times if I use it on a thumbnail or which one I use, it's a matter of how much space do I have. Milla is shorter, it also looks more like Mike. So is Mike in it too. Then I'll probably use Camilla just for that. So I know, brand confusion, that's fine. I don't know. Somebody pick one because I don't care. Will you shorten it to Cam? No, Cam is my older brother. It's Camden, and he went by Cam, so I would strongly prefer, and I do have an opinion. There we go. I don't like Cam, or preference Le, il, la, just la. The become just la. Not a fan of that one. That one's weird. Also in South Florida, it's la what? La amiga? I don't know. What are you saying? Oh, okay, we got that one again, Richard. I'm Camilla. Are you trying to be like Sting, Edge, or Bomb? Absolutely. Sure. Why not? uh. If I were to play you in a game, which game would most bring out your innermost Camilla? Like, I would probably fear for my life sitting next to you. It depends. Oh, what game would bring that out? Probably a lot of the ones where I feel like I really can just roll with it and just really voice my inner dialogue that I have a lot of times is cooperative games. I tend to, I'm sure you've noticed, kind of be dry in my humor, and I've learned around here that you can't always tell when I'm kidding. I definitely have that RBF or that just really dry humor. And people are like, "Are you okay? You were really mad. Are you okay? You really hated that game. Are you? I'm so sorry I made you play that." And I was like, "It's totally fine. No, I was playing around, or I was kidding, or yeah, I'm frustrated. That doesn't mean I hate it." So I don't always come across as I mean. So definitely when I'm playing cooperative games, I feel like I can roll with it because we're all together and you don't actually fear for your life. So yeah, I have had to pull back on that one a little bit, just so because no one needs to fear for their life. I mean, I'm not really gonna kill anybody or anything. No. Are you kidding me? If I find a spider in the house, I have to have to let it go outside. I can't smush it. So anyway. Wormspan or Wingspan or neither. Wormspan, I find Wormspan a little more interesting. I find Wingspan fine. You know, I'm happy to play it if you really love it. I think it's really been good for the hobby. I think it has really opened the doors to the hobby, you know, in the same way like Pandemic did. I think Wingspan is going to sit firmly in that same category in years to come. Down the road, 10 years, we'll still be talking about it and its relevance in the hobby. And I appreciate that, but I personally don't care for it. It's not one that I care to go back to unless somebody wants to. It's a solid game and I'm happy to play, but I'm probably never going to recommend it because I want to play it. It's more like, you're new in the hobby or you like birds, there's some connection to it, that's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend it based on the individual I'm recommending it to, not my personal enjoyment of it. Wormspan, I could see myself, you know, every year or two wanting to play that a little bit. Are you sporting a new Dice Tower shirt? This is, you can't quite see it, I'll stand up a little bit. This is the Dice Tower East shirt for this year. So for our merch. So this will be our merch shirt. We made a couple pre-ones for us to be able to show you guys what it is you'll be ordering or getting if you come to the con and buy one. What was your latest miniature painting project? Was it fun to paint or a pain? It was so much fun. Oh, and I'm still not done with it. I'm so excited. It's going to be a longer term project. This is Oathsworn. And the reason it's a longer term project is because we're painting the characters as we need them rather than me just sitting down and doing all of them. That being said, I don't have the monsters. We're just using the standees for the monsters, but the heroes and the townsfolk that you use, those are all miniatures, and we just had to paint a new one. So we had one character who is no longer with us. His sacrifice was very much appreciated, and he will forever be remembered, but he's already been replaced. And I painted it this weekend. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy the nature and the nastiness on the ground. The bases of those come really well done and sculpted. And so I can really just let my imagination go, bring in the browns and the greens and do a lot of wet blending. But then I'm also using different textures what do you call that? Different basing materials, you know, like putting little dry leaves on them and things like that. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm working through Oathsworn, and I just got in the newest expansion for Sea of Legends. I've been holding off on painting the base game and the first expansion because I wanted to just wait and do it all at once. So I finally got it in. It's all organized last weekend, and I'm so excited to get that primed up and start painting. So Sea of Legends has some amazing miniatures in it, just some really, really neat cartoony looking ones without being chibi. So super excited to get that one done. Okay, so you did get your copy of Samuram from the Kickstarter. Very nice. Okay, so maybe it's not available outside the Kickstarter. Maybe it hasn't come in yet here to the office. I don't know, but that's really exciting. Awesome. Thank you. Hello, Twice as Nice. Have you played Kfire Council? Thoughts? I love almost all the games they make. Debating to back. Dean, I have not played it, and I'm with you as well. I have very, very much enjoyed everything that Incredible Dream has done. In fact, I just played Kfire Delve again last night. Gosh, I've played the heck out of that game recently. I love mixing all the characters, how quick and easy setup. I actually played it with Z, and I was telling him, I was like, it gives me like Marvel Champions feels. I understand it's not Marvel, it's very different gameplay, but the feeling and the emotional journey you go through during the game very much reminds me of Marvel Champions, which is one of my favorites. So I am loving the heck out of Kfire Delve. And then I'm in the middle of the campaign for the Kfire Chronicles as well. So Kfire Council, I'm really excited about, but Social Deduction, that's a hard sell to me. So for me personally to back it, it's probably not a back it one for me, but I'm definitely going, my enjoyment of Incredible Dreams and the Kfire world and the games they've done already is higher and more than my current burnout and almost like borderline distaste of that deduction and social deduction and negotiating and just all those kind of meta game mechanisms is kind of how I think of them, and they're just not my cup of tea. So no, I'm not backing. I haven't played it, but I'm definitely interested, just as you are, because of the kind of, at this point, almost pedigree that Incredible Dream has. Do you have any favorite spirits to play with Spirit Island? I do. I like these spirits that have a lot of movement. So Many Minds Move as One is one of them. Shrouds of Mist, I should call it Shrouds of Mist, but I think that might only be part of the title. Shrouds of Mist, Shrouds, you know who I'm talking about. And Thunder Speaker. Anywhere their spirits can really move around and stuff like that, I really like. I find the volcano to be fun. There's just something about just sitting there. It really leads to that feeling of I build up, and then you explode. You know, really can kind of lean into the swinginess of the game. So I enjoy Volcano, but it's definitely more when I'm in the mood for it. And then the other one I play that kind of breaks that mold of me liking the spirit movement is the power. My favorite power is, let's see what happens, Grinning Trickster. I love the complete chaos that he brings, where you don't know, you have this innate power and you trigger it, and it's literally called let's see what happens, and you're like, turn over the top of the deck. All right, guys, this could be great or it could flop, and it's one of those moments in the game where everybody comes together. You really have to, because it's all the simultaneous play, you really have to decide when to kind of, hold on guys, pause, I can do this here. Is this the best land to do? All right, before you play that, let me see if I can take care of it. And maybe you completely overkill it, maybe you completely bust, you don't know. It really plays into that Grinning Trickster personality, and I absolutely adore him. So typically the characters where you have a lot of flexibility, and typically a high utility, but I think that's more where I fall for the most part. Thematics are important to you, but to what extent do the thematics help what would otherwise be considered a bad game? I don't think thematics will save a game from being bad, but it will take a game that I think is fine and elevate it to one that I will return to. Fine or even good, or it'll justify me having it in my collection. I tend to just have, in my personal collection, the games are very much games that I think are great. Like, absolutely, I'm down to play this at any time. I want to have it on hand just in case somebody happens to come over and play it and want to play it. Or games that I find really bring that theme or have beautiful art, something like that. Those are the ones that I like to take out and just look through the cards and just immerse myself in the world, even if I'm not playing the game. Maybe sometimes it's some great minis that I enjoy looking at. I enjoy playing with my games, not playing the game sometimes. Or ones like that I think have that world and really sell that, and maybe it's a good game that'll appeal to a lot of people, but I really think the thematics bring that up for me. So it won't take a bad game to good or bad game to fine, but I think it definitely helps me palette a game a little bit more. I think, for example, a good example of that actually is Betrayal at House on the Hill, which I catch a lot of flack for liking. I love Betrayal at House on the Hill. Barely fell off my top 100 this year. It's a broken game. I get that. Am I going to recommend it to people? Not without a list of caveats, right? But for me, it really, just the experience that it brings, the theme, if you're in this house and you're discovering it and you don't know what's going on, you're trying to find out what's going on so you can find out how to get out. Just the experience and the theme that it brings forward is a lot of fun to me. So that takes a broken game to one that I'm excited to play. But at the end of the day, I'm still not going to say that's a bad game. I think some of the scenarios are broke, but there are some bad scenarios, but not a bad game. So. Favorite game to teach. My favorite game to teach is one that I get to play. I really like playing the game after I teach, because I think you get to see the aha moment. You get to see people either really start grasping it and going down that line of, oh, I like this too, or you see them, no, not really liking it and pulling it away, and you just get to go through that journey with them. So I think my favorite game to teach is one that I get to play, typically probably a cooperative. I want to say now my favorite game to teach. Gosh, I'm talking a lot about Spirit Island today, but it's probably Spirit Island, because now that they have the Horizon Spirit Island and they have that first turn layout, I really like the aha moments you have. But then by round 2, they're running 80% solo on their own on a really complex game. So I like teaching that one a lot. I really enjoy teaching Robinson Crusoe. Now it has a tutorial. I haven't done the tutorial. We haven't received that in the office. But I do really enjoy teaching Robinson Crusoe because I give a couple overhead things and then a couple overhead concepts and in general flow, and then we just jump right in because it has a fantastic player aid and you can just run through the first round, and by the second round they kind of understand all the moving pieces. And so to go through that experience with somebody is a lot of fun. So not a specific game to teach, but more a kind of category of games. That's ones that I can play and experience it along with them. Do you sometimes opt for some small, cute games when your brain can't handle those big brain killers? Which do you like to turn to? Right now, it is Kfire Delve. It probably depends on when you ask me. Yes, I do have a couple small, cute games, but they tend to ebb and flow which one it is. I've been playing a lot of Dragon Keepers. That's the new Cosmos that came out. Game. I really like that a lot. That's definitely a comfort zone game for me. I think it's absolutely adorable. It's the right amount of I sit down and I can think through my turns, enough luck that can hurt you, but enough mitigation where you feel like you have power. It's just a really good, comfortable game that that hasn't done me dirty yet. So I think definitely that's probably my small, cute game. I also really like Conspiracy Abyss for that one as well. It's the small tin game in the Abyss universe. That's another really small, very visually pleasing game that I'll pull out and can play pretty quick. So yeah, I have a couple of my go-tos. Oh my gosh, Alawa. I've been playing that one so much. That's definitely a small little box game that I think the artwork is just fantastic. It's very thematic. Okay, the artwork is thematic to the card types. It is not a thematic game. But yeah, I definitely have a couple. I want to say Alawa and Dragon Keepers are probably my go-tos right now, is mostly what I reach for. Josh, am I excited for convention season, or is this a stressful 2 to 3 months for you? Convention season is unfortunately aligned with summer, which makes it a balance. It's fine once I get it going, but it's a lot of work right now trying to balance the schedule with my son, the schedule with traveling, with running Dice Tower East with Sharon, things like that. It's definitely, it'll be fun when I get there, but I'm not there yet kind of thing. So ask me again in like a month. Right now, no, I'm in like logistics hell. So give me a little bit. This is interesting. Mr. Jeeves, at what point do you think Spirit Island will have too much content, or is a game that you would consider more is better? For me, it's not that it has too much content. I think we all have our own threshold for that. But for me, I am past that threshold. I have actually not played any any Nature Incarnate, because I'm good with what I have. One didn't come through the office here either. If it did, I probably would have snagged it and played with it and maybe done some content. But personally, I didn't back it and go for it because I was like, didn't see myself needing one more group of spirits that act a little differently. I did not feel that pull for myself. I've already got it in 3 boxes already. I have the base game and then the Jagged Earth game box as well. So those 2 boxes. And then the 3rd box is for the Horizons. I kept that one because it's the one I travel with. And if I'm teaching, I want that board to teach on. So that's a lot of shelf space, and I definitely, I personally am already to the point that the content I have is good enough. But I think we all have our own threshold for that, and it depends on how much you play it. Had this been 3 years ago, you asked me, I would have wanted more because I was playing it 2 times a week, 2-3 times a week with my gaming group up there. So yeah, so for me, right now, it's enough. I'm good. Oh, funny. Do you have a favorite setup for Obsession? I definitely prefer to play on the long game side, period. I find the standard game is just way too short. I'm pretty flexible on what house I like to play. And actually the last game I played, it was funny enough, my promo and Mike's promo both came up, and that was a really neat moment. It was very, very surreal, very surreal. I was actually playing the library copy and I forgot it was in there, like, and I had that super geeky dork moment. But yeah, no, it's really surreal. But yeah, for sure, the Obsession, I like the longer game for sure. Oh yeah, Bruce, we lost the first round. Yes, I have done worse than losing Project Elite in the first round. I have lost in setup. So, sweet. Oh wow, bike rides are the best. Yes, they do. They are. I am super far behind. Ooh, you got an electric bike. Very nice. I have an electric bike that my son likes to ride, and I'm like, you know what? He's outside. I'm letting it go. So whatever. If the donut holes stick together, that's a whole donut, right? I know, it's such a dumb name, but man, it was good. They can call it what they want. I'll eat it. Do. Bree, yes, let's go for some amazing sounding ice cream during Dice Tower East. Absolutely. If I can get away, I would 100% do that. Let's see. Oh, super chat. I'm finally making it to the super chat. Thank you. First time coming to Dice Tower East. Fantastic. Can you recommend any hiking near the hotel? No, because I don't really leave the hotel. But if you ask in our Facebook group, I'm sure people can help you out. I unfortunately, like I said, I don't get outside much at Dice Tower East. Florida is quite flat, so also depends on what you mean by hiking. I would definitely encourage you to look into like snorkeling or kayaking, something like that. You're gonna have a tough time finding a real satisfying hike. Let's see. Oh, and here we go back with Obsession. Do you play the long game or the short game? The long game. If I'm teaching it, I'll play the short game because I don't want to subject somebody to that for that long if they don't like it. But pretty quickly I tell them, I was like, yeah, if you played on the other side, you'd have 3 more rounds. And almost unanimously it's like, oh my gosh, I would love that. It'd be so great. So I'm glad it has that option. Oh, you guys are making fun of all my potential typos. I love it. Yeah. Geo Evines will be there for sure. That one wasn't a typo though. That was on purpose. Do you have a favorite Cthulhu Lovecraft game or no? Probably Cthulhu Death May Die. I think that's my highest one. I like that. I love Mansions of Madness though. Gosh, talk about a thematic game. It's so good. So good. What are your views when it comes to introducing kids to board games? Would you try to impose a certain viewpoint based on your own experience? No, I wouldn't at all. I think introducing kids to board games should be a natural thing. You know, I'm a very big proponent of letting the kids' curiosity and their interest drive their own discovery. You know, I can't think of anything that was forced on me as a child or like, you're going to love this. You got to do this. You want to do this? You know, anything that had that from my parents or my siblings, anything like that, that has stuck with me as a passion. And I really think that it's important for them to find their own passions. It would be fantastic if that was in board games. I would love to share that with them. I say not all the time, but I've made mention before that my son's not a board gamer. And that's okay. But that doesn't mean there's not some that he'll play with me. He loves micro macro. He loves Strike. Yes, I understand that those are more activities and not board games specifically, but that's okay because that is that connection that it brings for him to what I do. And so in his mind, he loves board games. And I'm happy with that. And you know, maybe one day he will go more into it, maybe he won't. That's okay too. And that being said, I've played a lot of board games with him. I used board games in homeschool when I needed to show him when we wanted to work on our math or we wanted to do some history. You know, I'd seek out ones that have different historical references and things like that. And that was okay. He was okay with that. But actual like enjoyment, seeking out, let's do this, it's so very, very rare. And I let him drive that. So I think for me, my views are if you just have them accessible and they see your enjoyment and your excitement for it, maybe they'll jump in and have some curiosity. And when that happens, just kind of foster it, you know, and maybe it'll never be a love. Maybe it'll just be an appreciation. Maybe it'll be a loathing, but an appreciation that you do like it, something like that. And that's kind of where I am with my son is that he doesn't love them, but in his mind, he likes these ones. And so we'll keep playing those. Oh my gosh, I probably have 100 games of Similo played with him. But in his mind, that's his board game and he loves it. And I think that's what's important is that he feels that like his own curiosity is kind of driving that, you know. And a certain viewpoint based on your experiences. I'm wondering if you mean like that I like a game or don't like a game. Absolutely not. I mean, you know, I respect my coworkers and we have vastly different takes on games and opinions on them, and that's okay too, you know. So it's not me trying to convince them, no, that really is a bad game or this really is a good game. You know, so much of that argument is just for fun, and we know that because at the end of the day, you like what you like, and that's okay. This happens all the time, Monica. Have you experienced a game not being what you thought it would be? Like a dark game that wasn't scary after all, or a cute game that packed a real punch? This happens more often than not. I think I definitely went through a period here at the Dice Tower where I became almost, I don't say nervous of new games, but definitely like apprehensive, where it's like, oh my gosh, I've just been let down over and over and over again. Like, is there a good game? Something like that, you know? So I've definitely learned to kind of put that aside, put expectations aside, and go into a game with a blank slate. Now, there are those that I get super excited about when they come out, and I definitely bring that excitement to the gameplay, I think, but I try to, when it comes down to playing the game and thinking about it, kind of put that aside and just think, okay, am I enjoying this as a game? Am I enjoying the thematic experience? Because yes, I can't think of a specific one off the top of my head, but I will say it is pretty regular that a game is not what I thought it would be, for sure. And sometimes those lead to the best, right? That social deduction game that breaks the mold, that I'm like, wow, this is a social deduction game I like, or this is the small little card game that I like. I mean, that's what Kfire Delve is right now. It's a little card game, and I sat down to play it just because I thought it was pretty. But I was like, I'm not gonna like this. I don't like little card games. Like, it's not my thing. It's not gonna have the feeling and the energy behind it and the world building and all that. And I was completely wrong, and I'm so glad I was. So yeah, that's probably my most recent example. Is Kfire Delve just completely caught me off guard with what I thought it would be. Let's see. This says, talk to me about some of your favorite games and heavy narratives. I want to say most of my games have heavy narratives, because I am so into the theme of the game, whether it's actually the heavy narrative, like in the actual writing it's bringing to the table. You're talking Oathsworn, you're talking Sleeping Gods, any of those, or are you talking about the narratives that you write yourself as you're playing through? I'm thinking more, I'll use like one here from live chat when we play, or not live chat, one of our live shows where we played Frostpunk. We had to make these hard decisions, and we still talk about that game. Oh my gosh, remember when everyone was starving and we didn't know what to do, so we put sawdust in their food to make it go further? Oh, that's crazy. So whether it's like your own personal narratives you bring out of the game, or the narratives in the story, I'm here for both of those. I think one is group dependent, of course, and then the other is on the game and the actual game designer, and did they sell you on that narrative? And I really think that's hard to nail, because it needs to be immersive and really sell you on the world without being corny, but then also not take itself too serious. The one that I think really nailed that was, keeping you on the edge of your seats, aren't I? Let's see. What is... Unsettled. There it is. Unsettled. That humor just, again, one like Monica just asked, one that caught me off guard, not what I thought it would be. It's a narrative game I was expecting. I was playing it around the same time as Sleeping Gods, and I expected kind of that same experience, just maybe shorter little chunks as you read a little story, and then action. And it was not. That story is hilarious. It is the dorkiest humor that doesn't go, it's so well written. It doesn't go slap happy, but it also doesn't take itself seriously either. It's so well done. So yeah, I like good narratives in stories, whether it's the experience or the actual writing and the technical writing behind it. Old Bay is great stuff. Come to Kubla Khan. Ah, Marion, that's the second time that I've heard about Kubla Khan. That one is very, very intriguing. Oh, y'all are talking about blue cheese, dirty socks. Nick, here we go. Since you played more games since joining the Dice Tower, do you think you'll be better at creating your own game or creating an expansion for a game you adore? That is a easy question for me. Because absolutely not. In fact, I think playing more games has just really shown me how not creative I am. Like, I'm definitely more of a logician mind, something like that. I am not very creative. I think maybe that's why I love the theme and the mechanisms meld so much, because I have such an appreciation for it. It's just so amazing to me that somebody can see that and put that together. So, do I think I'd be better at creating your own game? No. Now you want someone to build your prototype? I'm here for you. But no, I am not a game designer. I have no aspirations to. I think I'd be terrible at it. I'm just one of those doofuses that has an opinion without being able to do it any better. So. Oh, see? Jason, you understand, you get it. What would be your ideal pet if anything was possible, and why would it be an otter? Because they're adorable, because they are so soft. I don't know if that's actually true, but in my head, they're really, really soft. And their paws are so super cute, and they like them to be pet, and their ears are really tiny, and I just want to nuzzle them. So yeah, oh my gosh, and their little squeaks when they eat, and they get so excited about their salmon. It's probably better I don't have one, because I think my productivity and usefulness in life in general would just plummet, because I would just play with my little otter friend all day long. I just got the weighted, we in crowd surfing, we covered these weighted stuffed animals, kind of like people have weighted blankets. They're stuffed animals, but filled with the heavy beads, and I got the otter one. It was an emotional decision, and I have no regrets. It is everything I could possibly have wanted it to be. And yeah. So that's probably as close as I'll ever get to petting an otter or having a pet otter, but it's doing me good. All right. And we're back to my name talk again. Sure, I'll respond. Just not to Cam. Do you like trick-taking games? What are 3 you enjoy? No. Oh, Violent Frog, you thought my name was a great stage name? No, you can't say it. Camilla Cleghorn. Doesn't work. It's terrible. It's a terrible stage name. Do you have a BGG handle with all your games ranked? There it is. That you're willing to share. I think it's Milla Clegg, MILLACLEG. I'm pretty sure that is. So yeah, are all my games ranked there? Absolutely not. So I try to do that. I go through phases where I'll rank them. I'll sit down for like an hour and just, catch up on all the ones I've played and go put them all in and everything. And then I won't do it for 6 months. So I try, but I'm really, really bad. I do track all my plays, but I'm bad about putting my rankings in there and ratings. So, all right. We do have crowd surfing here in a few minutes, so I'm going to go through. Oh, we're back to talking about Frostpunk now. Saw the role-playing game. Let's see. Oh my gosh. No, I have not seen the adventure book for Meadow. I saw the prototype a year and a half ago at Essen. No, I haven't. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. All right. Raising Robots is her favorite Wingspan game. That's true. Also. Massive Darkness 2 or Zombicide? Zombicide. I don't know why. Massive Darkness 2 I think it probably is a better game in general, but Zombicide, I just have a love for it. So it just feels something about the dice rolls, and I don't know. I think I lean towards Zombicide, and with that, I lean towards Zombicide Invader. That's the theme I jive the most. All right. Aaron, this is an interesting question. I'll actually end with this one here. What is the biggest change in your taste in games since you started playing board games? taste in games since you started playing board games? I'm actually going to answer, I think, the question a little bit differently. What is your biggest taste in board game or in games since you started playing more here at the Dice Tower? And I want to say, I think the more games I've played, it's been an interesting journey where the more you play, the more you see yourself as an omni gamer. Sure, I'll play that. Sure, I'll play that. Yeah, absolutely. I love games. And then you kind of go narrow focus. You're like, oh, wait, hold on. The ones I really want to play over and over again are very, very small and dwindling few. And then you kind of hone in on what it is exactly you like. I definitely always saw myself as like, yeah, I just love board games generically. I'll play everything. And I've found that no, I really do tend to lean and prefer more that have those thematics, that have medium to heavy mechanisms or mechanics, or really light and comfort zone. You know, I kind of like the two extremes there. And that's probably been more than the biggest change, kind of more the biggest realization in gaming and my personal taste. So, but with that, guys, we do have crowd surfing here in about 10 minutes. I will go super fast. Kfire Chronicles is so good. Oh, let's see, Gleason East. I piqued your interest. Check out Kfire Chronicles if you're looking for like a campaign game, but if you just want something fun to play at one shot kind of things, but with a lot of variability as you mix the different characters, check out Kfire Delve. It's in the same universe. So good. All right, for real this time, I am going to back out on this one and say thank you for joining me here at the Dice Tower. We have another stream coming up in 9 minutes now, our crowd surfing, so I will see you in the other studio in just a few minutes. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.